11 items you can't bring on a cruise in 2025, new bans announced. Picture this. You're standing at cruise security, watching a TSA-style agent pull your brand new portable speaker out of your carry-on bag and toss it into a confiscation bin. Sorry, they say. These are banned as of January 2025. You paid $200 for that speaker specifically for your cruise vacation, and now it's gone forever because you didn't know about a policy change that was announced quietly in a cruise line email you probably never saw. This exact scenario is happening to thousands of cruisers this year because cruise lines have quietly updated their prohibited items lists with restrictions that are catching even experienced passengers completely off guard. We're talking about everyday items that were perfectly fine to bring last year, but are now instant confiscations that could ruin your vacation before it even starts. I've spent the last month analyzing updated prohibited items lists from every major cruise line, talking to security personnel, and even testing these new policies on recent sailings. What I discovered will shock you. Some of these bans make sense from a safety perspective. Others seem designed to force you to spend more money on board. And a few? Well, let's just say they're so surprising that even cruise ship employees are confused about enforcing them. Today, I'm revealing the 11 most important items that cruise lines have newly banned in 2025, why they're prohibited, and what you should pack instead to avoid having your vacation ruined at the security checkpoint. Before we dive into these cruise-killing restrictions, hit that subscribe button because these policies are changing constantly, and missing an update could cost you hundreds of dollars in confiscated items. Ban number 1. Bluetooth speakers and portable audio devices. This is the big one that's catching the most passengers off guard. Multiple cruise lines have banned portable Bluetooth speakers, wireless audio devices, and even some types of headphones in 2025. Yes, that includes those popular JBL speakers, Bose SoundLink devices, and even some gaming headsets. The official reason? Noise control and passenger comfort. But here's what's really happening. Cruise lines are tired of dealing with complaints about passengers blasting music on balconies, in cabins, and around pools. Instead of just enforcing volume rules, they've decided to ban the devices entirely. I watched security confiscate over 40 speakers during embarkation on my last Royal Caribbean cruise. Families who packed speakers for beach days were devastated. Parents who brought kid-friendly audio devices for cabin entertainment had to surrender them at security. But here's where it gets confusing. The enforcement is inconsistent. Some cruise lines allow speakers under a certain decibel rating. Others ban anything with Bluetooth capability. Norwegian allows speakers, but only in certain cabin categories. The rules are different for each cruise line, and even security staff seem confused about what's actually prohibited. Ban number 2, power banks and portable chargers over 20,000 milliamp hours. Cruise lines have dramatically lowered the maximum capacity for portable power banks, and this change is affecting nearly everyone who travels with multiple devices. The new limit is 20,000 milliamp hours for most cruise lines, down from previous limits of 27,000 milliamp hours or higher. This might not sound like a big deal, but here's the problem. Many popular portable chargers exceed this limit. That Anchor power cord you bought on Amazon? If it's over 20,000 milliamp hours, it's getting confiscated. The high-capacity power bank you use for long flights? Gone. Sarah from Florida learned this the hard way when her 25,000 milliamp hour power bank was confiscated at Carnival Security. She'd used the same charger on 3 previous cruises with no problems, but the new 2025 policy caught her completely off guard. She ended up having to buy an overpriced replacement in the ship's gift shop. The reasoning is fire safety. Lithium batteries can overheat and pose fire risks in the confined environment of a cruise ship. But the arbitrary 20,000 milliamp hour limit seems more about standardization than actual safety, since the physical size and quality of the battery matters more than raw capacity. Ban number 3, aerosol sunscreens and spray-on products. This ban is hitting families particularly hard. Most cruise lines have prohibited aerosol sunscreens, hairsprays, deodorant sprays, and similar pressurized containers in 2025. The only exceptions are small travel-size items under 3.4 ounces, and they must be in your carry-on luggage, not checked bags. The official reason is fire safety. Pressurized containers can explode if overheated. But here's what passengers are discovering. The ship's gift shops are conveniently stocked with overpriced aerosol products that somehow don't pose the same safety risk. A family of 4 that used to pack large aerosol sunscreens for their Caribbean cruise now has to buy multiple small bottles at ship prices. We're talking about spending $60 to $80 on sunscreen that would cost $20 at home. The enforcement is strict too. Security uses specialized scanners that can detect pressurized containers even in wrapped luggage. I watched them confiscate a $15 bottle of aerosol sunscreen that a passenger had forgotten in their checked bag. Ban number 4, magnetic hooks and adhesive organizers. This one surprised even me. Cruise lines are now banning magnetic hooks, magnetic shower caddies, adhesive wall organizers, and similar cabin organizing accessories. These items have been cruise packing staples for years, but 2025 has brought sweeping bans across multiple cruise lines. The reasoning varies by cruise line. Some claim magnetic items interfere with ship navigation systems, which seems questionable for small cabinet magnets. Others say adhesive products damage cabin walls and require expensive repairs. But here's what's really happening. Cruise lines want to sell you their own overpriced cabin accessories through their online shops or gift stores. Those $5 magnetic hooks you bought on Amazon? Now you have to buy $20 cruise-approved versions from the ship. The enforcement is inconsistent, though. Some security checkpoints confiscate all magnetic items. Others allow small magnets, but define small differently. It's creating confusion and frustration for passengers who rely on these items to organize tiny cruise cabins. Ban number 5, personal coffee makers and heating elements. Coffee lovers, this one's going to hurt. Cruise lines have expanded their bans on electrical heating devices to include small personal coffee makers, travel kettles, immersion heaters, and even some types of coffee cup warmers. The fire safety reasoning is legitimate. Heating elements pose real risks in cabin environments, but the timing is suspicious, coming right after cruise lines raised their specialty coffee prices and started charging for in-room coffee in many cabin categories. I met a passenger on Celebrity who'd been bringing a small travel coffee maker for years without problems. Security confiscated it in 2025, forcing him to pay $4 to $6 per coffee from ship cafes instead of making his own for pennies. The ban extends to seemingly innocent items too. USB-powered coffee cup warmers, battery-operated milk frothers with heating elements, and even some types of travel food warmers are getting confiscated. Ban number 6, drone accessories and action camera gimbals. Even if you're not bringing a drone, which have been banned for years, cruise lines are now confiscating drone accessories, action camera gimbals, and stabilizing equipment. This includes items like extra propellers, drone batteries, charging hubs, and motorized camera gimbals. The logic is that these accessories suggest you might have smuggled a drone on board in pieces, or that you're planning to acquire a drone at ports. It's guilt by association, and it's affecting legitimate photographers who use professional camera equipment. I watched security confiscate a $300 camera gimbal from a travel photographer who was documenting his cruise for a travel blog. He had no drone, no intention of flying anything, but the motorized gimbal was classified as drone-related equipment. The ban also extends to some remote control toys. RC cars, remote control boats, and even some advanced remote control cameras are getting confiscated under the expanded drone policy. Ban number 7, large coolers and insulated bags. Cruise lines have implemented new size restrictions on coolers and insulated bags that are catching many passengers off guard. The new limits are typically 12 by 12 by 12 inches or smaller, which eliminates most standard coolers and large insulated bags. This ban is clearly revenue-driven. Cruise lines want you buying their overpriced beverages instead of bringing your own drinks in large coolers. The size restriction is just small enough to prevent meaningful beverage storage while still allowing them to claim they allow coolers. Families planning beach days or shore excursions are particularly affected. That wheeled cooler you plan to bring for port adventures? Too big. The large insulated bag for keeping drinks cold by the pool? Confiscated. The enforcement includes measuring devices at security. If your cooler is even slightly over the size limit, it's getting confiscated regardless of what's inside it. Ban number 8, multi-tools and pocket knives over 2 inches. Cruise lines have reduced the maximum blade length for pocket knives and multi-tools from 4 inches to just 2 inches. This seemingly small change is affecting a lot of everyday items that passengers never considered weapons. Swiss Army knives, Leatherman multi-tools, fishing knives, and even some camping utensils are getting confiscated under the new blade length restrictions. The measurement includes any blade, cutting edge, or pointed implement on the device. The 2-inch limit is so restrictive that even many small pocket knives exceed it. I watched security confiscate a classic Swiss Army knife that a passenger had carried for 20 years without problems on previous cruises. The enforcement is strict and non-negotiable. Even if the blade is dull, even if it's a sentimental item, even if you offer to surrender just the knife portion, the entire device gets confiscated if any blade exceeds 2 inches. Ban number 9, CBD products and hemp-derived items. This ban isn't entirely new, but cruise lines have dramatically expanded their definition of prohibited CBD and hemp products in 2025. Even items that are legal in your home state and contain no THC are getting passengers in serious trouble. The expanded ban includes CBD lotions, hemp protein powders, CBD-infused gummies, even those marketed as legal supplements, hemp oil capsules, and even some cosmetic products containing hemp seed oil. Security is using drug detection equipment that can identify these substances even in processed forms. I heard about a passenger who had legal CBD lotion confiscated and was threatened with being banned from future cruises for attempting to bring drugs on board. The international nature of cruising means these items are treated as controlled substances regardless of their legal status in the United States. Cruise lines are erring on the side of extreme caution to avoid legal issues in foreign ports. Ban number 10, smartwatches with cellular capability. This one's technically not about the watch itself, but about cruise lines requiring passengers to disable cellular features on smartwatches. Some cruise lines are demanding that passengers prove their smartwatches are in airplane mode or have cellular service disabled before boarding. The concern is passengers using smartwatches to communicate while the ship's communication systems are down, or to bypass the ship's expensive internet and communication services. It's a revenue protection measure disguised as a safety policy. Enforcement varies dramatically between cruise lines and even between ships in the same fleet. Some security checkpoints don't care about smartwatches at all. Others make passengers demonstrate that cellular features are disabled. The confusion is creating problems for passengers who legitimately need their smartwatches for health monitoring, fitness tracking, or medical alerts. Disabling cellular features can interfere with some of these functions. Ban number 11, personal water filtration devices. The newest and most surprising ban affects personal water bottles with built-in filtration systems, UV water purifiers, and portable water treatment devices. This includes popular brands like LifeStraw, filtered water bottles, and camping water purification equipment. The official reasoning is that these devices might indicate distrust of the ship's water system or suggest plans to treat water from questionable sources during shore excursions. But the real reason seems to be protecting beverage sales and preventing passengers from treating tap water instead of buying bottled water. The ban is catching health-conscious travelers and international passengers off guard. Many people bring filtered water bottles as a standard travel practice, never imagining they'd be prohibited on cruise ships. Security is specifically trained to identify these devices, and they're being confiscated even when empty and unused. The ban extends to replacement filters, UV sterilization pens, and water purification tablets. What these bans really mean. Looking at all these restrictions together, a pattern emerges. Cruise lines are systematically banning items that either compete with their onboard revenue streams or create operational challenges they don't want to manage. The safety justifications are sometimes legitimate, but often seem secondary to financial motivations. Banning speakers stops noise complaints, but also forces passengers to rely on ship entertainment. Banning large coolers reduces beverage competition. Banning coffee makers drives specialty coffee sales. How to protect yourself. With these evolving restrictions, here's what smart cruisers need to do. Check prohibited items lists within 30 days of sailing, not when you originally booked. These policies change frequently and without much notice. When in doubt, leave questionable items at home. The risk of confiscation often outweighs the convenience of bringing borderline items. Pack alternatives that serve the same purpose but aren't prohibited. Instead of a large cooler, bring multiple small insulated bags. Instead of aerosol sunscreen, pack lotion-based products. Consider purchasing restricted items at your first port instead of bringing them from home. Many Caribbean and Mediterranean ports sell the same products without the transportation restrictions. The future of cruise restrictions. These bans represent a broader trend toward more restrictive cruise policies. As cruise ships get larger and passenger safety becomes more complex, expect more items to be prohibited rather than fewer. The cruise industry is also under increasing pressure from port authorities and international regulations. Items that are legal and safe in one country might be prohibited in another, forcing cruise lines to adopt the most restrictive policies to cover all destinations. The bottom line. The 2025 updates to prohibited items lists represent the most significant changes to cruise packing restrictions in years. Items that were perfectly acceptable last year are now instant confiscations that could ruin your vacation planning. The key is staying informed and adapting to these new realities. The days of showing up to a cruise with whatever you want are clearly over. Modern cruising requires careful research and strategic packing to avoid expensive surprises at security. These restrictions aren't necessarily making cruising safer or better, they're making it more complicated and expensive for passengers. But until the industry changes direction, we need to work within these new limitations. Have you had items confiscated due to new 2025 restrictions? What surprised you most about these policy changes? Share your experiences in the comments below because other cruisers need to know what to expect. Don't forget to subscribe for updates on cruise policies and restrictions. These lists change frequently, and staying informed could save you hundreds of dollars in confiscated items. Until next time, pack smart and stay updated on the ever-changing world of cruise restrictions.